Yeah, tough.
Well. I mean,
physical. I mean, offensive line. My defensive line is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama. Trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I mean, like, I'm talking about just trying to make it. He trying to rescue mama. Like, mama barely made the flight.
Trying to get out the mud.
And I want him to just go get it.
Deion Sanders was recently on a show where he talked about what they looked for in specific players or positions, and his comments made a lot of people upset. Take a look.
We have different attributes: smart, tough, fast, disciplined with character.
Yep.
We're looking at now quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent.
Mm-hmm.
We want that kid to be 3, 5 and up because he's got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad decisions off the field at all,
Mm-hmm.
because he has to be a leader of men. It's so many different attributes in what we look for when we see a quarterback. And you would love a coach's son. Somewhere that the coaches coached him, and I'm not going down my road. I see you smiling because
I know who your quarterback is
he's
right
talking
now.
about my son. I didn't just build a template for my son, but that's what really we look for in quarterbacks. Different positions are different. Like O-lineman, I look for dual parent homes,
right?
A strong father that they adhered to,
right?
Smart kid, at least 3.3 and above.
You're also describing Hurts.
Yeah, tough.
Well. I mean,
physical. I mean, offensive line. My defensive line is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama. Trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I mean, like, I'm talking about just trying to make it. He trying to rescue mama. Like, mama barely made the flight.
Trying to get out the mud.
And I want him to just go get it. It's a whole different attributes that you look for in different positions, and we have that stuff just chronicled. We know what we want, and we go get it.
Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. So you have a bunch of the usual suspects angry at Coach Prime for his comments. DL Hughley reposted it for his audience. Of course, you already know folks on Black Twitter, they are angry as well.
All right. Yeah. Kim, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything he said. And, was talking earlier and somebody mentioned about fake outrage. And what I say is that words matter, right? And what he did was he reinforced every negative stereotype. I work in the sports space, so I was bothered by it because, so you wouldn't have taken Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson? Like, that's just, first of all, it doesn't make any sense. I'm fine with him being Deion in prime time, but you're in a different spot now. Your platform is different, and what you say matters. Don't reduce it to that. It's not okay. And I think it's fine for us to call out things that are not okay. And you can still like Deion and like the things he does, and it's exciting. That didn't add anything to what he's going to do in Colorado.
Well, what did he say that wasn't true, though? I mean, we've kind of known, and that's been the talk since this came out, as everybody has kind of agreed, whether they've been publicly agreeing with it or just kind of privately.
Agree with what? So I would agree with it.
That this isn't something new that coaches their philosophy of recruiting. I mean, you played that. You know that there's coaches look for certain things. They're just not the ones that go on Rich Eisen and say it.
Right.
And I think that's the problem, as he said, the truth. And sometimes when we hear the truth of what these coaches are doing, right or wrong, it's what they're doing.
I'm going to push back just a little bit, because I don't know that it's necessarily the truth for everybody. And here's the other thing.
Not everybody, no.
Here's the other thing. So what that then opens the door is for a whole lot of other nonsense to be said. Well, we talked just earlier about black women in their hair. Maybe they shouldn't be on television. Maybe they shouldn't do these things. It's not okay because it's somebody's truth to just say it. And as a black man, I'm going to say that, he ought to know better and he ought to do better.
Honestly, I don't care where he said this at. People will be upset anyway. I don't understand the thought process of don't say this in front of those people, as if we're not all living in the same space, in the same place, on the same internet, in the same world, like we could somehow close off all the ratchet and silly behavior and dysfunction and nobody else is ever going to know about it. Like it's not spilling into the streets or spilling all over social media and public domain. There's no way for us to hide all this dysfunction that's going on in the community. And then another thing, right out the gate, he said that they look for all of their players to be smart.
We have different attributes: smart, tough, fast, disciplined with character.
Yep.
In that moment, he was talking about all of their players. They look for them to be smart, fast, tough, disciplined with character. Now, he did say he wanted a 3.3 for the offensive lineman or a 3.5 for a quarterback. That would mean higher than average grades. That shows you somebody that's focused on excellence. If you're going to be the quarterback of a team, a leader of men, that's what you need. I don't understand why people don't get this.
On the defensive side of the ball, you need dogs. You need dogs. You need that dog in the hood that, like, when you pass by the house, you know he gonna run up to the fence, and he's jumped that fence on multiple occasions. That's who you need on the defense. You need grown men who have aggression built in that can move people. And that's what you need on the defense. That's why the University of Miami did so well. That's why the University of Alabama does so well. That's what he's saying. I need people that got the motor and the aggression to move people out the way. Comparison to the other side of the ball, you need certain attributes from your offensive lineman that 9 times out of 10 comes from a 2-parent household. The protection, the nurturing, all of that type of situation, and playing as a quarterback and offensive lineman, that's what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's just that certain ways that you are raised gives you certain attributes as you as a person. And based off of that, certain sides of the football might be more inclined for you to do better at than if you were raised in a different way. That's just all I'm saying.
Talk about say shout out to the Haitian brother right there, Mr. 305. It's really simple to understand. People just don't like it. The first thing black people do here, especially the ones raised by side chicks and baby mamas, is get in their feelings. They don't even really think logically about what's being said. They just react with emotions, just like their mama taught them to do, by the way. 99% of the people who disagree with his comments are mad because they think he's talking about their mama or something. It's just silly. First, get out of your feelings and stop acting like a Teletubby. That's one of the things I can't stand the most about our generation and the one underneath us. You can't say anything to them even when they know it's right. They still don't want to hear it, and then they can't argue with logic. The whole conversation is just emotional. So what they do is try to trump logic by bringing up race. Now, Coach Prime didn't bring up race at all during that response. And even if he was referring to a specific race, it still doesn't matter because if it's true, it's true. He said a quarterback had to be a leader of men. Now, he's not saying that a man raised by his mama can't be a leader, but men raised by strong men tend to have certain qualities and attributes needed to be a strong leader. And side note, young ladies, you should be taking notes here instead of getting angry. These are some of the same characteristics that you need to be looking for in your man. A strong leader, disciplined, competent, raised by a strong man, character. Y'all out here just looking for money, but this is what you really need in your life for the long run. If he's all of this, then he's going to have finances. And if y'all are too young right now, the financial component is on the way if he's already got the foundation in order. I'll give you some homework though. If you're a woman under 30, think about your past failed relationships. How many of those guys came from a single mother? Did they have the qualities that I just mentioned? And then ladies, look at yourself. Who raised you? And how did they raise you? Did they raise you to be the woman that's compatible with a strong leader? Or did the person who raised you teach you to rebel against that man when you came in contact with them? Ask yourself these questions and be honest with you. Now, Coach Prime said the best defensive linemen are hungry. They come from struggle. They have to get it because they have a bigger goal in mind, and that's usually to take care of mama. So he's going to hustle hard, make things happen. Now, he's not saying that a defensive lineman can't come from a 2-parent home or a great offensive lineman can't come from a single mother. Those will be exceptions for him. They will be excluded from his general statement. But in general, this is what he's looking for. And the reason why they do that is because it works. Bottom line, it's a strategy that may upset some people and give them something to be angry about, but it works. I also think that this is how a lot of people think. Coach Prime is just the only one to repeat it out loud in an interview. If I say majority of the men locked up in prison came from a single mother, or almost all of the boys locked up in juvenile came from a single mother, and yes, I say almost all because the stat is so high, it's like over 90-95%, it's unbelievable. These are the facts though. If I made those statements, you'll have people offended, either a single mother herself or a product of a single mother. They'll jump up because that's what they've been taught to do. Defend foolishness, no matter what. Never live in reality, just live in their imaginations. They'll say, well, I know people who have both parents and still went to jail. Well, Starkeisha and Marquise Dontavius. Of course, there are exceptions excluded from the general, but that still doesn't change the fact that an overwhelming majority of those inmates come from single-parent homes led by women. Then you have critics saying that Coach Prime is exploiting black men's pain and struggle. which most don't go the traditional therapy route or never had any type of counseling from anybody, but if they did, that person would tell them to channel their bad thoughts, their urge to act out, channel that into something good, something positive. I would rather them do that than run the streets hurting people, like that one 19-year-old guy in Crime Hills, Florida. I would rather he had found something positive to do than to run around being a nuisance to the whole community, destroying innocent people. Took a little 9-year-old girl out, smart girl, great mother, great father. Took their child away from them. She had a mom and dad who cared about her. R.I.P. Tiana Major. But I bet he didn't. I can tell you right now, he did not have strong leadership in his life. Back to Coach Prime though. He's the coach, he's the one in charge. He said what he's looking for. He said we know what we want, so let him go get what he's looking for. Those are his general standards. Everybody in every solid organization, they have their own standards. No matter if they are a coach, a leader of a team at work, or if they have specific standards in their personal lives. That's their standard. And that's one thing I noticed with Black people these days that's different from generations from a long time ago. Black people before, they had standards. You don't get the energy of Black Wall Street, and not just in Oklahoma, but all across the country, Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, California. You don't get those communities in excellence without first having standards. And that's what we're missing today as a group. And folks with no standards, look around. That's why they usually get the results they get. Now, some people get their character from their household, or they have to go outside of their household for better values because they were raised by heathens. That's one thing you can't control. You can't control as a kid who raised you, who had you. But if you're lucky enough to learn better, you have to do better. So still, no excuse. Personally, I like how Coach Prime said it. I'm a very black and white person. When I hear direction like that or others speaking in plain black and white, I generally understand it. I like the order, structure, no nonsense mentality. That's what's needed for any group, organization, or anybody to be successful. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Did Coach Prime offend you with his comments, or do you understand where he was coming from? Special thank you to Felix. I appreciate you, Felix, for all of your support, as well as our sister Tanette. Shout out to T. Thomas, and I can't forget about our brothers Dark Power and Joseph. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.